Hello, everyone, and I am here with Reverend Franklin Hairston-Allen, who is the president of the Harrisburg NAACP, the Greater Harrisburg NAACP, I think. And we're going to talk to him a little bit to get some understanding about why he is leading the Jericho March. And this is a protest that is involving a lot of different people coming together, and they're very concerned about a mammoth project that's coming here. But rather than me tell you all about it, why don't we let Reverend Allen take over from here? Why are you engaged in this Jericho March?
Joyce, it's great to be here this afternoon, and I thank you so very much for the media exposure here in Harrisburg. Let me just say this first. There is a great diversity in the city of Harrisburg, but with that, there's also a great dysfunctional poverty in the city of Harrisburg. And so when we look at the project on 6th and Riley, it spawned from many different conversations the year before in 2018. And it involved groups coming together in Harrisburg, both IMC, NAACP, MLK,
Ministerial Alliance, right?
Yes,
Coalition.
MLK Coalition.
Yeah, okay. And this is all about the federal courthouse
project. It's
all
about the federal courthouse on different levels and different stages. We talked about the political aspects. We talked about the economic aspects. We talked about the social aspects. We talked about the educational aspect of that, what that $220 million could do purposefully for the citizens of Dauphin County. And one of the things we discussed in the offset is that it's not a black, white, beige, brown issue. It's a pocketbook issue. It's a supporting issue, economic issue for the entire city. And so from that, we spawned different groups and leaderships and others who have come together. We have had open discussions all across the city, both in north, south, east, and west. And people have come, and just like today, they're asking questions. They want answers. Why are we standing out on the corner with signs that say that there's an economic injustice in the city of Harrisburg?
And that economic injustice, just so people understand, is you have this mammoth project.
Yes.
And at least at this point, there's very little, if any, contractors who come from Dauphin County actually benefiting from any of this work.
That is exactly right. And you hit the nail on the head, is that it's an outcry. Here we are in Dauphin County, having the capacity to do anything, any of the work, pipe fitting, labor, sheetrock, roofing, the dig, plumbing, all of those things, workers, and the door is shut on those people, both union and non-union, in Dauphin County.
Well, and the first question I had, because you just got to ask the tough questions, right?
Yes,
and I said, well, maybe there's nobody qualified here. Maybe there are no companies that can really manage this kind of project. But I've been set straight on that. Tell me what the truth is.
The truth is that's an all-out lie. We have the capacity to build, to do, to pave any projects in Dauphin County. All of those, any labor project that comes to Dauphin County, we have the capacity to fulfill. So that's an untruth.
It's not a question. There are companies that are qualified and can take this on. It's not a question. It seems like it's a question of, is there the will to engage the people and the companies inside the place where it's being built?
That's absolutely true. It's the company willing to engage the citizens and the workforce of Dauphin County, hire them, okay, at a living wage, which there's a little disparity between non-union and union, but those things can be worked out. But we need to be in the game. We need to be in the play. And that's why we're marching. That's why we're protesting. And we will continue to protest until the right legs are under the table with the right voices.
So I got the protest, but I understand there's another side to this, and that's the political side.
The political side
How are you tackling that one?
The political side is getting those elected officials across the state of Pennsylvania to come to the table. Now, there are platforms for that, and we're not trying in any way to ambush any of our politicians. We want clarity. We want to know what their views are. We want to make sure that they know what has happened over the past 10 years, because It just didn't start yesterday. It started 10 years ago. The fabrication of the building, design, and all those things from GSA all the way down from the building, that was years ago. We want them to understand that the building was permits and contractors were let years ago. 70% of those pieces have been done. The dig is already started. Why weren't workers in Dauphin County included? And why is it now that you, except for just a few meetings, have been silent from the top down? Those questions need to be answered.
One of the things that you said, and not only you, there were several people in the meeting that we just had. One of the things you said that was a little disturbing was you don't even feel like you're getting a sincere sit down, talking to people and hearing that the people you've met with have basically been indifferent to your concerns. Is that the case?
There's an old song that came out in the 60s, in the late 60s, talking loud and doing nothing. Talking loud and doing nothing. We need our politicians not only to talk diversity, but to be inclusive with their diversity. They know who the builders are. They know who the union leaders are. Come to the table and talk so that we can understand from your perspective, their perspective, why Dauphin County is excluded. That's why we need to meet.
So the solution is, at this point, your next step is to get people around the table and to especially engage people like, I believe you're going to meet with Scott Perry.
Yes.
And to see what kind of influence they can have with the GSA, the General Services Administration in Washington.
Yes.
Which is managing this whole project.
Absolutely.
To see if you can convince them to create some incentives or just mandates. Yes. Whatever, for including workers in Dauphin County.
Yes, we need to be able to correct not only the velocity but the direction of the arrowhead before it's too late, because there are other projects coming in to Harrisburg also, and we want to be not behind the 8 ball again. We want full participation in the courthouse wherever our workers can be in and included. We want them in there. Male, female, qualified, be on the job site. They're just beginning with the dig and the dredging and some other things and columns there now. But as we stated in the meeting, that's a 2.5-year project. And the work that's going to be involved after the ribbon cutting, that's very important for the community too. What we don't want is $200 million coming into Dauphin County and walking out without Dauphin County workers' participation in that, which will stimulate growth in the city of Harrisburg in many different areas.
Now, one final thing. I know it's very important to you, being the president of the Greater Harrisburg NAACP, that there be minority involvement in this. But as I was hearing this, the larger concern is that nobody in Dauphin County, white, black, brown, or whatever, seems to be benefiting from this. So basically, the message seems to be one of inclusion, that the whole community should benefit more. Is that
absolutely
correct?
You said it. I couldn't say it any better. I couldn't say it any better than that. And I talk all the time. Listen, it's imperative that workers in Dauphin County be included. And I hope I'm saying it plain enough with clarity. We need those bucks in Dauphin County, or we'll become like Lloydstown, General Motors, and other places who are closing down, shutting down. Where are those citizens going to work? What are they going to do? What's going to happen to the schools and other things? We want to build Harrisburg. Harrisburg is a great city. It has a great foundation. It has a history. And we need to involve ourselves from every aspect. All of our social groups need to be involved in what's going on now and get a handle on that. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to wear out a few pair of shoes.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Yes.
Wish you all the best. And thank you for joining us here, and keep us posted on development.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me on the show today.
No problem.
Great.
And thank you very much for joining us, and hope you got a little clarity on a really important issue in our community.